Ready, set, go. Welcome to our channel. I'm Ingrid, and this is Kenzie. And Kenzie's going to start with a little intro about who she is, and then I will give you a little intro of who I am to give you an idea of what we would like to accomplish on this channel, publishing it as a resource for people all over.
Right.
Yeah?
Right. Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, Kenz.
All
Who
right.
are you? Who are you?
Hi. Hi. I am Dr. Kenzie Rhodes. I am a doctor of divinity, and I am a hypnotist and a past life regressionist. And I have a healing practice which is incorporating and integrating different modalities with hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming, called Blue Flame Quantum Healing. That's who I am now. However, my life and my entire career was dedicated to being in the matrix. I worked very hard to advance my career. I was in finance and administration. I have 4 advanced degrees. Master of Public Administration was my final degree before going into management, working for the state of Massachusetts as a manager. I was also a chief financial officer for a hospital. And so I have a very extensive paperwork, organizational, finance related brain. And that served me well up until COVID, when I started seeing all kinds of things that I could not explain going on around me. And it was during 2021 that I realized that mandated medicine was coming, and I also knew that there was no way that I would do that, because that is so against sovereignty that it didn't even matter that I was basically giving up my entire career and almost a 6-figure income, because it wasn't even a question. And so I began really digging into sovereignty around that time in mid 2021, and I discovered Land and Soil and um, the entire fraud that has been perpetuated against us through the years, essentially identity theft of corporate citizenship. And so I did a really deep dive, and over a matter of finding out about the fraud and finding out about this is not the actual real legitimate government. It is instead it's a network of corporations that are supposed to be acting as our agents to carry out certain important and essential tasks, but that self-governance really belongs to we the people. And what does that actually mean? I did a deep dive over 4 days, and I did all the paperwork to declare myself a state national and recorded, and I joined Assembly, and I began working to help others recognize what does sovereignty mean. But also in the course of the spiritual work that I have since done, since leaving the Matrix, I allowed myself to get fired. I walked away from my career. And then I really dove deeply into learning energy healing, hypnosis, QHHT. I'm also a QHHT practitioner, and developing my own unique intuitive energy healing skill, which utilizes a bunch of different modalities, and they all sort of flow together into one, and helping people. I had realized too in the process that I thought that I had been helping people and that I was standing in honor of, honoring people's rights to be diverse and to express themselves and to do good work. And I realized that the system that we were in, the system that I was working in actively to enable, was not helping people. It was actually harming people. And so it has been a radical shift and a complete integration too of leaving that life behind, starting the new life. I've always been a spiritual person, but I also was firmly embedded in the matrix. Essentially, my day persona was all about money and finance and keeping track of the books and all of that management. And
Yeah.
my night persona was going and laying on the floor for 4 hours listening to the chanting of 4 Buddhist monks in a Buddhist chode, and doing, journeying in a shamanic circle, things like that. All of that I kept separate until all of a sudden 2021 it all merged. And so now I'm far more integrative.
Mhm.
And because I'm a hypnotist and I have a background now of formal training as well as practice, I am recognizing where patterns of deliberate manipulation are being levied against the population and taking advantage of their own state of being unaware and unconscious. And so I want to bring that information forward, because once you know something, you can never unknow it. And I feel that that conversation is really needed because discernment is at an all-time low, as
Okay.
well as
I'm just gonna cut you off for a second because one of the things that you and I talked about before I introduce myself, is that you were recognizing patterns of hypnotic speech,
yeah.
um, all around. And so, we were talking about that when I sort of had the inspiration to say, oh, we gotta have a YouTube channel. So okay, now I will share with you who I am. So currently, I am an American State National who is working as an independent contractor, as a private independent contractor. Um, and I am also working as an energy worker. I just let my massage license lapse, but I was working as a massage therapist for quite some time. A Reiki master teacher, certified biofield tuner, studied with Eileen McCusick. Um, and I lead meditations. I do a lot of volunteer work. I sit on the Massachusetts Assembly. I'm on a number of committees. I do a lot of volunteering in my life, and I love everything that I do. Um, Mostly what I love is the conversations that I have with folks around shifting their awareness, developing consciousness, developing
Right.
the conscious awareness to comprehend how amazing we are, how amazing these bodies are, how amazing our consciousness is, the combination of our ancient, ancient consciousness and these bodies that have been created um, in a divine fashion and have throughout history been dumbed down to such an extent that rather than being 12 stranded DNA or 24 stranded DNA or 36 or 48 or whatever have you,
Whatever.
144 stranded DNA, we're two stranded DNA and yet 95% of that is junk.
Uh-huh.
So talking with people about the shift from a Newtonian third dimensional reality where you're in the grind, you're working too hard, you're always stressed out,
You're a debt slave.
you're a debt slave, you're following rules and regulations and mandates, probably sick, probably taking medication, really stressed and are just in a box.
Survival mode.
You're in survival mode, correct?
Right.
You're in survival mode. And so moving from that reality through the quantum particle and wave reality, where we're a little bit more consciously aware of what we're creating, what we're drawing to us in the universe, through to a plasmic foundation and awareness to comprehend that you have the ability in when you're present, when you're not stressed, when you're fully conscious and aware, you have all potential, all options in that 0 point to choose from, to be able to use triggers as a moment of bringing yourself conscious, to then make a conscious choice to break a pattern, to
Mhm.
break out of slavery, to break out of that debt slavery, to break out of the emotional, mental, spiritual slavery that we've been in on the planet for thousands of years. Um, I am somebody who comes from a multidimensional awareness for my entire life, that has made the third dimension challenging for me to navigate, and be successful in. It's taken me to this point in my life where I'm able to navigate in a way that I need to be able to show up in a way that is required of me to navigate and be somewhat successful in the third dimension. I'm much more interested in consciousness development and what we're doing and to each other, how we're thinking about things, because it so impacts what we experience as reality. So I am interested in all beings in, on, and around the planet truly seeing God in each other's eyes. I'm interested in equity. I am
Yes.
interested in freedom. I am interested in sovereignty, and I'm interested in figuring out how we all get there. I am not interested in the divide and conquer way
Right.
of surviving that
Mhm.
has been taught to us. I am very interested in deprogramming
Yes.
all of the binds and the boxes that have been neatly created and packaged for us to live within. I'm interested in leaving all that behind and entering a reality and creating a planet and a people that really do see God in each other and that are interested in each other and that want to work together to build and create and allow for an exploration of freedom and creativity and joy and health and unity.
And acceptance.
Not just
Yes.
in America, right? Not just in America, globally,
Globally.
on Terra. And
Right.
so you and I have come together from very different backgrounds, from very
Right.
different belief systems. We follow different people. We don't agree about a lot of, we have disagreements about how things have happened, but we agree upon the fact that there is a small group of predators that have been controlling and manipulating humanity for an awfully long time. And in one of the latest iterations beyond just the last several years, took over our country
Right.
and have taken over many countries.
Yes.
And we are interested in helping people reclaim their own sovereignty and freedom.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we have to examine, and as Anna has shared, because when we were babies, we were forced into a contract
Yep.
that forced us off the land and soil, through water,
Mhm.
into air. We have to undo that with contract.
Right. We have to what has been bound must be unbound. And
Right.
so we are here to share so that
Mhm.
people can start to unravel that.
Right. So we're interested in folks who are interested in freedom and sovereignty and love and unity.
And true equity,
True,
because it's all about equity.
true equity, protecting our children, participating locally in
Mhm.
government,
Yep.
participating and showing up for your neighbors and for your community, actively being involved in creating the world where we're all free and we all have access to the basic things that we need. And beyond that, how creative can we be about celebrating life?
Yep.
So that's why we created this channel. That's why Kenzie and I have created this channel. So if you feel like this is the place that you can come and explore, spend some time with us, utilize the resources that we have, show up for our lives, because we're going to have lives where people get to ask questions. Know that neither Kenzie nor I are claiming to be experts. We both still have an awful lot to learn. We believe in the work that Anna Marie Reitzinger is doing. She also is known as Anna von Reitz. She's the fiduciary of the American State National Confederation, although
The f
recently she has
the
said
Federation.
Federation is not up. But we're going to share resources so that you can look her up directly, so that you can look up what's happening in your own state. Know that largely what's been happening in America has been following what's been happening in Africa. And the assemblies there have been incredibly active, and assemblies all over the world are becoming active. And we have a lot of work to do to get out of the matrix
Right.
and to truly, truly, truly free ourselves from the shackles that we've been programmed with.
Yep.
So welcome. And is there anything else, Kenzie, that you want to share before we say goodbye for our first intro video?
Nope, I think this is long enough.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.